How's it going, neighbors? This is Ed here with etrailer.com, and we're taking a look at the Westin PRO TRAXX 4 on our 2024 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. Now, when you add Nerf bars to your vehicle, not only does it give you some traction when it's wet or slick out, it also gives you a step to get into your vehicle a lot easier. Just in general, as far as style, personally, I think a Jeep looks naked without any type of bars or steps on the side. So let's take a closer look at these guys here. The PRO TRAXX 4 gives you a 4-inch wide step surface, and it's also textured and gives you these nice grooves so you can get a grip when it's all icy or muddy out and about. The material here is UV protectant, and it's going to hold up against sunlight as well as heat and cold. The tube itself is a 4-inch diameter tube that is powder coated steel. There is no cap on the end of it. It's sealed all the way around, so that's going to help reduce the possibility of rusting from the inside. Now, also another defense barrier from rust is the powder coating. That powder coating sealing is going to hold up against salt, ice, snow, and all the abuse that it's going to catch for being on the bottom of your vehicle while you're going down the road. As far as the installation, it's super simple. It's just really tedious because it's a bunch of nuts and bolts. But if you lay it all out, it'll go by in a breeze. So let me show you how to get this installed. We're going to start our installation by laying our hardware and our brackets out. On the front driver, you're going to have a bracket. The A bracket is going to be for the driver, and the B support bracket is going to be for the passenger side. And that's going to correspond with your front driver, so DF, driver front bracket. Each one of them are labeled, so you just lay them out where they go or where they will be installed, and then we'll get our hardware kit together to attach it to the Jeep. So we're going to use our 10mm nut with our 10mm lock washer and flat washer with our driver front bracket. I'm just going to hand tighten all of my brackets in place because we want them to be flexible enough to make our connection once we put the bar on. So I'm just gonna run that up just enough to stabilize it with the bolt and hold it in place. And now we're gonna put on our front support. Your front support bracket actually has a contour here that's gonna fit around the pinch weld underneath your vehicle. And you're just gonna align the holes in the bracket with the holes in the body. And from here, you're gonna take your hex head bolts. I'm just going to feed them through to stabilize. And then I'm going to grab my washer and nut to secure it to the vehicle. Okay, and now we're going to install our 10mm hex head bolt through our support bracket. You're going to go with a washer on each side and still just hand tightening all of our fasteners. So now we're going to install our center bracket, and it's going to install very similar to your front. You just have a different shaped support bracket. So I'm just going to still hand tighten my bolt into position. And we're going to match up our support bracket with our frame. You want to make sure that you're using the part that's stamped center for center. And we're just going to align that with the holes in our frame and fasten it together using our included hardware. So now we're going to use our M8 hardware and fasten it to the frame through the holes. I'm just going to thread this into the nut that I'm holding on the other side. And I can't overemphasize making sure you don't fully fasten everything down until you're ready, until after you install the bar. So you're going to do that same thing one more time. At this point, we're pretty familiar with the process. We're going to install our bracket and support bracket using the included hardware, and it all pretty much installs the same way. You just want to make sure you're just taking that time to lay everything out ahead of time, because that will make it so much easier in this process. Now we're going to align our thread nuts on the bottom of our Nerf bars with the holes on the bottom of our brackets here. So we're just going to flip these over on top, and you can kind of see the brackets shift, and that's why we did not hand tighten. Well, we only hand tighten. And now we're going to take our hardware and fasten it onto the step. Again, just hand tight, so we can adjust it and move it as necessary to get our hardware started. Now we're going to do that 2 more times on this step, and then again on the other side of the vehicle. Now it's time to fasten our hardware in. All right. Now we're going to fasten the Allen head bolts that go through the weld on the frame here itself. And now we're getting a 13mm nut that's holding our support bracket on. And our last step is actually fastening the bolts to our bracket. And this is going to secure our Nerf bar to our vehicle. So you have 6 of these each side, and you want to make sure you get them torqued down to the specified torque requirement. Alternatively, you can go with the Aries. The install on that is very similar as far as having the dual brackets, as well as a bunch of hardware that you have to lay out. But I do like the pad on the Westin a little bit better. I think it gives a better grip, but that's more opinion. And I think the tube steel where you have the cap sealed looks more OEM with those angles on the end. But at the end of the day, if you have questions, feel free to check out etrailer.com and we'll guide you to a solution. I'm Ed, this is etrailer.com, and this has been a look at the Westin PRO TRAXX 4's Nerf Bars for your 2024 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited.